Welcome back to the Ryan Dunstan Podcast, Words from a Humble King. You know, on the podcast, I like to do my best to discuss life in a manner in which isn't really popular. You know, I explain the powerful but painful portions of our emotional moments that kind of test the very fibers of who we are. And, you know, I like to do my best to explore real life experiences that spark mental hurdles and stories from myself as well as other professionals who've achieved some things, but not without their humanity, you know, and that's the encouraging portion of it that kind of uplifts some folks that are trying to accomplish some things, because, you know, we live in such a microwavable society and culture, and I think people are just going to think that they're going to get it just like that, and that's just not the case. They're going to go through some things. And I like to explore those sorts of topics because I feel like, you know, people need this kind of content. And, you know, today's topic isn't no different. You know, we're going to talk about rejection today, which is very painful. And it affects us all in profound ways. And honestly, you can't achieve much without overcoming it. Whether it's you losing the job or the application not going through or a relationship unraveling and falling apart, you know, feeling like, you know, you're unheard in your community, or you're rejected out of certain circles that you thought were solid, the disputes and the arguments in our country. Rejection can just kind of leave us all feeling vulnerable and isolated. You know, I myself have, and in some ways still struggle greatly with rejection, because the landscape is so broad and rejection is so complex. It affects us all in impactful ways. And I felt it would be good to reflect on how rejection mirrors the state of our country, of our minds, of our souls, our inner beings, right? The divisions in our country, the misunderstandings, the struggles for connection. But also, I felt amidst the chaos, there's a powerful spiritual lesson waiting to be uncovered. You know, we'll touch on it a little later on. And as I continue to battle with rejection myself, I kind of found in the fight, we can transform the experience of rejection into opportunities for growth and resilience, as well as finding the direction in it, believe it or not. And I promise you, there is wisdom in rejection that doesn't always make us feel the greatest, but you know, it helps us reframe it, not as a dead end, but as a stepping stone towards deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. You know, I just wanted to spend a few moments embracing rejection. And you know, as I mentioned, rejection is so broad and complex, and rejection can be painful in plenty of ways. I know some folks deal with it well, but for the rest of us, it could be painful. Right? And I did some reading on the topic for my own fight, as well as to prepare for this episode and conversation. But did you know that rejection can have a biological response? Rejection, the brain processes social rejection similarly to physical pain. Studies have shown that areas of the brain activated during social rejection overlap with those activated during physical hurt, leading to strong emotional responses. And we all know that it gets difficult to see through uncomfortable emotions and trying to process correctly through pain, which can also negatively impact our self-esteem and our self-worth, because again, we're processing incorrectly through the pain and the emotion. You know, pain distorts the understanding of the truth. So when you're dealing with rejection, we can expect that to be distorted. We can expect to process the rejection the wrong way. And it's easy to see how we can begin to internalize it, triggering feelings of inadequacy or unworthiness, leading to negative self-perceptions. You also have to understand we're inherently social creatures, and rejection can evoke a fear of isolation and abandonment, threatening our very foundations and the fundamental need for belonging and connection. And now there's feelings of uncertainty and vulnerability, and you don't want to put yourself out there anymore, whether that's seeking the new relationship, and that can be social, romantic, or even professionally, right? You don't want to chase the goals anymore. Maybe failures and the rejection of success is haunting you, right? And the fear and the anxiety surrounding the vulnerability can heighten the pain of rejection as well, especially if the rejection comes from someone or something you've invested your time and emotion in. It can evoke nostalgia and a sense of loss, amplifying the pain and creating a conflict between how we view ourselves and how others perceive us, leading to confusion and emotional distress. And as for our country, man, when people feel rejected, whether it's due to political beliefs, social identities, or cultural backgrounds, I could probably keep going on and on with that list. But when people feel rejected, it can deepen societal divisions and create an us versus them kind of a mentality, which, if we're gonna be honest, that's going on right now across our country. Feelings are running rapid right now, like wildfires, man. And the feeling of rejection, man, it could just lead to disillusionment with political processes and causing individuals to now disengage from civic activities like voting and community involvement, which, let's be honest, that undermines our democratic participation. Rejection in the workplace, on the other hand, let's get there. What if there's discrimination or bias? These things can limit opportunities for marginalized groups and perpetuating economic inequalities and hindering national growth. A culture of rejection can stifle creativity in the workplace and stifle innovation, as individuals may now hesitate to share ideas and take risks if they're fearing the negative judgment, resulting in a mistrust amongst groups. And now there's collaboration problems, there's a problem with solving problems. It's all becoming more challenging and reducing the social cohesion. And then for our students, what about our students? If they're experiencing rejection in educational settings, man, this can disengage them from learning and leading to lower educational attainment and a less informed populace. Now, God sees all this too, and He uses rejection to heal you, believe it or not. He will give you a moment to breathe after the offense. He'll give you a moment to rest and recover, get your thoughts, right? But then He's gonna put you in the craziest position, which will be circumstances and situations that you'll be rejected repeatedly, just to provide opportunities to begin to process it correctly. And honestly, He does that because there are some great things that comes from isolation and rejection. One being resilience. Rejection teaches you how to bounce back, man. It teaches you how to bounce back from setbacks, and that fosters emotional strength and resilience, and it prompts reflection, helping us to reassess our goals and our motivations, leading to greater clarity about what we truly want and who we really are. And from this comes personal growth. Now, growth is hard, it's painful. I'll level with you there, but facing rejection can push you out of your comfort zone, and that encourages personal development and self-discovery, highlighting areas of development and improvement, motivating us to develop our skills and become better versions of ourselves. And that's great character building. Now, I'm telling you, believe it or not, the direction in rejection can send you to doors of unexpected opportunities that align better with your passions and your values because of the soul searching and the isolation you had to go through. And experiencing rejection can deepen your empathy for others, making it possible for you to have compassion and understanding and other interactions due to your emotional intelligence now in that isolation point. You remember the pain of it, and you just it changes your communication. It also serves as a powerful motivator, pushing us to work harder and strive for our goals despite the setbacks. Rejection can encourage us to embrace our true selves rather than conforming to others' expectations or societal pressures. Each rejection carries valuable lessons that can guide us in future decisions, helping us navigate challenges with greater wisdom, which is what we need. Life is hard, right? And to be honest with you, this is what God wants. And if you're going to be honest with yourself, this is what you need. This is the Ryan Dunstan Podcast. And these are words from a humble king. Peace.